We'll see.
We are recording and we're live. 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to our plab. This is the first plab. My name is Jani Aaltonen, and I come from Sales Communications, which is a HubSpot Platinum partner located in Helsinki, Finland. Actually Espoo, but nobody cares about that town. Nothing. So basically, we are located in Helsinki, and today we're going to talk about inbound sales and new ways to profile your prospect after conversion. And the key word is after conversion. What happens when we have, drive traffic to our sites, get some conversions, and then, at least in a B2B side, there's a salesman who is being eager to follow the customer, do some calling, do some sales stuff, and then we have sales communications partner Tomi Yrjölä. You want to pronounce your name to the audience?
Hi, y'all. Well, the last name is a tough one, but I think we'll just go with Tommy. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
We'll do that.
Managing partner also at Sales Communications. We've been working with inbound marketing for, I think, 4 years now. So we've got some experience. We have a platinum with HubSpot, as Jani mentioned, and I'm really looking forward to this because this interactive profiling is I don't know, I think it's the future. Thomas?
Yep.
Yeah, then we have Thomas from ZEF, Z-E-F. I'll just put it on the chat page.
Alrighty.
URL. So yeah, welcome.
Thank you very much, guys. It's an honor to be here with you. You're just great guys. The best HubSpot partners in Northern Europe. So it's nice to be with you guys. Thank you. So ZEF is we have a platform, a HubSpot integrated platform for intelligent surveys and interactive content for insightful sales and marketing. That's the thing we do.
Yeah, you have a great history. You were nominated as a great place to work in was it under 50 people category in Helsinki 2 weeks ago? So that was a major achievement. Congratulations for that. So you're HubSpot users also yourself,
have used it for like a year or year and a half, something like that.
So what's your experience as a HubSpot user when you have been, before we get into the details of ZEF and how to do this profiling after the conversions and all that? But how do you feel about HubSpot?
This is really interesting topic for me. I really love it. My background, I used to be a sales director at ZEF for like 3 years, and we were a totally cold calling company. We didn't do anything but cold calling, and that was my duty. That was what I did and what I believed in. And there was a, slight voice in my head that told me that this is not the only option we would do. And actually, my dream has been to move to the USA for many, many years now, which is probably realizing in during this year. But I went to Phoenix, Arizona to visit a couple of companies and see the US markets. And then I found out that this cold calling thing that doesn't work in the USA. And then I, started to figure out that, okay, that was my dream. And that maybe was my dream. It's not going to come through because we are doing that. Or otherwise, we might find new ways to do prospecting. And then I read a book called Epic Content Marketing.
Joe Pulizzi book.
Yeah, Joe Pulizzi, the founder of Content Marketing Institute. That was actually a great book. And that was the first time when I heard about HubSpot. And he really recommended the HubSpot software. So I decided to kind of take a look at it and see what it is. And then I got 2 other recommendations for HubSpot. And then I thought that maybe we should give it a try. But before buying this software, we started to do inbound marketing kind of started. We started blogging, but not much else. But we started to do blogging and kind of trying to attract visitors to our website, and then we still did this outbound selling, and we kind of made these inbound leads pretty mad because we got some inbound leads, and then we called them like outbound calling. We were not really trying to help them. Our focus is to sell. So we had to transform our selling as well. So, in this year and a half period of time, we have really transformed from cold calling outbound to total inbound marketing and sales. We have united our, these two teams, and we are not doing cold calling anymore.
That's kind of a common story that I hear a lot out on the field, where people, once they start taking on marketing automation, they realize that, okay, this is lead generation. We're converting leads via the internet. And then suddenly we turn into a situation, or we see a situation where we have to start profiling in a totally new way. Is that what you're, Thomas, saying? That's what happened to you guys, right?
Yep. Yeah, we started getting leads in, and then we kind of figured out that, man, we have this tool to attract visitors, to generate leads, to get a lot of good information about these leads. We get like profiled leads, and we started to think that maybe we should integrate our software with HubSpot so we could really get the whole, the benefits from it. So we integrated with HubSpot and started to do these quizzes, interactive assessments, trivias, this kind of content.
Quizzes,
content. Yeah. And then we started to get really good leads to our HubSpot with all this data that they gave us. They kind of profiled themselves. I can tell you later more, go like dig in deeper what we really did and what we are doing right now. But that was the first thing for us to produce this interactive content and get interactive conversions.
HubSpot. Yeah, go ahead.
Go on, sorry. We are so eager to get Thomas on the line. But anyway, Tommy, you're first.
No, I was thinking, HubSpot has some great form functionality. It has, like many marketing automation vendors, it offers smart forms and so forth. What are we going to be talking about today? How does that differ from, great forms that you can use, as you know, on HubSpot already?
They are more like interactive forms. It means that when you give your information, you get immediately something. Of course, if you fill up some form, you get something that you're downloading. But in this case, if you create like assessment or trivia or whatever, we created, for example, this kind of a inbound marketing trivia, like test your knowledge. How much do you know about inbound marketing? And we created 9 questions, and we created like 4 like multiple choice questions, and 1 of them was right or correct, and 3 of them choices wrong. So you get first question, you click your answer, and you get to move on to the next question, and next and next and next. And in the end, as a result, you will get a result which tells you that how many of these were correct and what is your level of inbound marketing and whatever. And then we direct them. We have this call to action that directs them to targeted material based on their answers. What is their level of knowledge? We give them this kind of, for example, ebook, which is, for example, for beginners or whatever. So we can direct them based on their given answers to targeted content, what we think would be, good for them, what would be a good fit. So the point is that it's not only asking for content information, but it's more like interaction. There's a good saying that, because think about blogging. We do blogging because we want to educate. Is that right?
I lost your voice.
Really?
What did we?
I'm back.
I can hear Thomas.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Alrighty. So blogging, we of course, when we do blogging, we want to educate our readers, and we want to, get them moving ahead in their buyer's journey and so on. But there's this pretty good saying I found that tell me and I will forget. We read, we will forget. That is actually true. We don't remember a lot what we just... Can you remember, like, what is the last blog post you read? Can you remember what did it say? You might remember, like, one good point, and that's it. But you don't really remember a lot. But so there's this saying, tell me and I will forget. Teach me and I will remember. And involve me and I will learn.
That's good.
So this is the thing. We're going to involve them, and they will learn because they interact. They can do some. They're not just reading, but they're participating.
So what you're saying is that, like, with these interactive types of profiling, you're really beginning to establish a relationship with whoever you're contacting. Is that right? I mean, that's,
Yeah,
if I get the gist of what you were saying.
absolutely. Yeah. And this interactive content, the point is that, as you know, there's too much content right now. So there's this huge or very loud noise going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this interactive content is something that is easy to digest. So people love involving, participating. It's easy. They can even, world's going mobile. So people are using their mobile phones a lot. So for example, with mobile phone, it's really easy to take these quizzes and educate yourself or entertain yourself or whatever. And it's really shareable. So we have seen huge sharing numbers. People, if they get like good results based on their answers, they are very, very willing to share them on social media. That's not something that people do when they fill up a form. They don't share it somewhere. But
Good
if
point.
you take a quiz, you are it's pretty obvious that you share it online if you like the result that you just got.
So you get this viral going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Huge virality. I cannot hear Yanni.
Yeah, I can't hear Yanni either.
Me neither.
Yeah, try to fix that. I had a question there with the interactive forums. Are you where does this really fit in? I just think we should maybe make that clear to some of the people watching and listening to this. Are we saying, for example, that the exploratory calls and that what sales does at some point in the buyer's journey actually contact somebody? Where does this interactive polling fit in?
I think it fits in the whole buyer's journey, like from the beginning, from the awareness stage. You can create assessment or even trivia. For example, this inbound trivia. You can first test your knowledge, for example. So you get to know about inbound marketing and kind of might get interested in that. And then the next phase, the state which is consideration stage. You might want to create assessment that test what is your situation right now in inbound marketing, for example. What is your level of inbound, what you are actually doing right now. And then you can teach them to do stuff even better. And then, for example, the decision stage, you could create for example, a product selector, which, for example, works like you can see which of these marketing automation platforms fits your needs the best, for example.
And then when you tie that into what's going on in a marketing automation system, then you can actually have behavioral targeted marketing campaigns also, right?
Absolutely, because all these answers are transferred to, for example, HubSpot. So you don't get only the contact information, but you get all of these answers. So this is actually a really good way to collect useful data for targeting and such.
It actually goes into the contact area. Now I haven't seen that myself, but is that so? So you look at the contact information, the history, you see that there. Okay.
Absolutely. Actually, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Interesting. I think is Yanni back online?
He's not.
No, Yeah. You look good. You look good. Try some other headsets.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I know, Thomas, that you've had some great cases.
Yeah.
And you operate not only up here in Northern Europe. You're working where, with Al Jazeera and all over the Middle East. What's going on?
Oh yeah, we have this. It's actually pretty much like interactive assessment, which we call voting aid. The basic idea is to help voters to match their opinions with candidates' opinions. So it's like opinion matchmaker, and
Okay.
it works like we create, or our media house customer creates sets of questions like survey, like 20, for example, 20 questions, and sends this survey to these candidates, and candidates tell their opinions, and then they embed our media house customer, they embed it online to their website and let all the voters take the same survey. So they answer exactly the same questions. And this voting aid is like opinion matchmaker, tells who of these candidates shares the same views with you the most. So maybe you would like to vote for this guy. And then you can compare your answers with the candidate's answer, like question by question. So that is really, really, really fun way to kind of see who would you like to vote for, and what are the candidates' opinions, or what are their...
Don't tell me you're behind Donald Trump. Okay, I don't want to get into politics.
Yeah, but
are you guys doing that in the States?
Yeah, actually, we are having conversation with really big media houses, but somehow they're pretty slow, because I don't know why, but they think this, as I said, like huge project, which is not. Just like survey, send it, embed it, and let voters come and get all this data. And our media house customers, they create so much news based on this information. Think about if you have 1 million voters given 20 opinions for you. It's really, really easy to create news articles or use these opinions in political debates and so on. So it's really, really, really good information. But the same kind of information can easily be used in inbound marketing. We can ask anything about our prospects, our existing customer base, whoever we want to, because people love these interactive content. They want to answer because they get something as a result. So they answer not for us or for our customers, but they answer for them. If it's like...
So they think they're actually getting added value, right?
Absolutely. That is the thing. And we have this pretty good example, like you all know this Angry Birds company, Rovio. So they created a pretty like funny bird tonality test, which is like personality test, but bird tonality, because they have this Angry Birds. So bird tonality test, which actually is like personality test. It's MBTI personality test. They had like 20 questions, and based on their questions, you got your personality description, or described what kind of personality you are, and then it told you that you are just like this character, Angry Birds character, this bird or this big or pig or whoever. So you could that's like voting aid. You matched yourself with Angry Bird characters.
So you weren't trying to sort out the happy birds from the angry birds, right?
Not really. Okay. But the main point was that they collected all the data. So they actually profiled almost the whole customer base of theirs. So they profiled their players. What kind of players do they have? What kind of personalities are playing their games? So they used this data in game development. When they when they started to figure out new features, they always took these personalities. What kind of players do we have? How do our new features fit in with our players' personalities and all the other data they had?
Well, that's an interesting point, because then we're getting into, for example, in consumer marketing, product development issues, and the answering interactive polls. My barriers to entry are very low. I'm willing to divulge information that can be very personal. Scary.
Yeah, but actually, it's used to help you.
Did I get my voice back?
You got it. You're back.
All right. I needed to log on.
You recovered from a really bad man flu right now.
Yeah. Amazing. I needed to change my microphone. Yeah, and then I had to log in for another browser and another screen, because we are recording. So I just want to, save this recording for the future purposes. So
but you are back.
Okay. Yeah. Again.
Hey, we got a good point. Good question from Julius Tuo. He's asking, were you pig or bird at the birds analogy.
Look at me. I am a pig, of course.
Slim one.
I look like a pig.
Okay.
That's very cool. One issue is that when you are doing with this interactive conversions, quizzes, and all that, and you're using HubSpot and everything is nicely put in the HubSpot and integrated. So, do you create smart content to your website?
Okay.
Based on a profiles, or what is your recommendation? By the way, I have a HubSpot pen here.
Oh, that's a nice pen.
So, yeah.
Okay,
So, yeah.
I have to say that could be easily done, but we don't do it yet.
Okay.
But it could be easily done based on the information you get.
Okay. Yeah.
From these quizzes or
smart content, and we have had a great experiences when we launched this. What kind of inbound marketer you are, and we have 3 stages there. You're a rookie, you're on a riding the waves of change, and then you're inbound marketing superstars. And after the conversions, what we'll do is that we'll send them a material based on their needs and based on their profiles and based on everything. So the things that we have been hearing from the customers is that they are really pleased that our marketing fits into their world and needs, and they feel that they will get more out of that. And I think that's a huge benefit when you are taking the customer inside to your marketing process and whatever. But that's is that difficult to do?
That actually is.
And all that. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually is, because I think like the big problem is that marketers usually have like big list of prospects, but the problem is that they don't know enough about them to be able to add real value, like real targeted content. They might know that, okay, this lead, for example, they downloaded this ebook and they have read this and this blog posts, but is that enough?
Good point.
I think that is like a little piece of information that you have. But if you send them, for example, if they downloaded some of your ebooks and you have a workflow that sends him a assessment that, okay, test your inbound marketing personality, for example, or whatever. Okay, and then you get like 10 answers or answers for 10 different questions. So you can easily then target way better than before. And they really answer these questions because they don't think it's like some sort of a market research, but they answer because they're entertaining themselves and they want to get better, more targeted content. So
what would you say to this? What would you say to these kind of companies who are not the Angry Birds or the Disneys or working in the entertainment industry or whatever, and they could have businesses which is you have to wear a white shirt and a tie, and there are a lot of important people around, like lawyers, doctors, and big corporations, and maybe they don't think that they want to entertain their customers, or they're afraid of let's do a a funny quiz, but they want to be more precise, more like accurate, more knowledge in depth, like a higher status companies. What's your story with those?
Yeah, I think it's all about ideas. You can do whatever you think fits your business the best. So we just want to provide as good software as possible to make it possible. But it's all about ideas. Like, think about blogging, for example. There are many tools for blogging, but they don't really tell them that you should blog like this. Of course, they have these academies and stuff like that where they tell what kind of blogging, how should you create your blog posts and what should be done. But still, we cannot really tell exactly what to do, but we can tell them what other customers have done, what have been the success stories. But it's all about ideas, and it's all, of course, it's all about buyer persona. It's their buyer's journey, which phase they are or stage they are right now, and whatever. So
would you say, Thomas, that it's also about the relationship that you're trying to set up with your prospect, your style, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you one case that we did recently. We created this kind of a test or assessment that test your sales profile, what kind of a salesman you are. So, and that actually was more like a research. We wanted to get information about salespeople in Finland. So we created this assessment, and as a last question, we had a contact form in order for the user to get the summary of answers. So they answer these questions, and last question is forms that if you want to download the summary of the answers, like the report, when we have enough of respondents, we will send it to you. Please leave your contact information. And then they got this summary or description of what kind of a salesman you are, and and then we had, of course, CTA to other content and so on. But in a couple of weeks, we got about 4,000 users or answers, and we collected about 1,000 leads.
And now this is the Helsinki market, or Finland, right?
Yeah,
I mean, small market.
That was in Finnish, really small market. So, but actually, think about it. HubSpot State of Inbound this research, it has 2,300 respondents. So we doubled. We had a double amount of that. Okay, and then we created a blog post on the insights we found. So we kind of dig in the report, the answers, and we tried to look for interesting, insights of the report, of the answers. And then we created a blog post, and we kind of analyzed the answers, all the data, and we sent it to these guys who filled up the form. Sent it to them first, and they were really committed because they were the ones who were answering, so who were kind of behind of this new content. They were kind of creating this new content because of they answered, and they wanted to get the information, so we sent it to them, and really, really high percentage of these people shared the article on social media. So it became a really big hit for us. It's actually the highest converting blog posts of ours, because these readers committed beforehand, because they took this assessment before, and then they downloaded it, and we sent it to them, and of course we shared it public, and got all the readers from social media. But I think this is a really good concept, that create a trivia or assessment and add a form as a last question in order to get the whole answer summary, and then use answer insights to create new content and send this new content to these people that filled up the form, and of course publish it public. And that is a really good concept.
And also after the conversion, when you have the conversion, people will tell.
Yeah.
I'm referring to the first question. Is that when you have a business where you can't, do not want to entertain. Every business has a salesman. Every business has customers, and the sales guys need to know what the customers are, who the customers are, what's their status, what's their situation, are they new customers, are they changing, are they working with the competitor at the moment, or whatever. And all those questions are actually the questions that you can put on that quiz. Basically, you don't need to, create super fancy stuff. You just, take a piece of paper, line up the 10 most interesting questions for the customer that the salesman is asking in order to know what the customer profile. Then you get that, the first. But what happens after the conversion? You will send them a link, and they will answer to the question, and then the sales guys go to the store and, describe about that.
Alrighty, yeah. When we get these marketing qualified leads, our sales team will contact them and of course qualify them, and if they are good prospects for us, they'll set up meetings. In Finland, it's really easy to meet up. We don't need to really do lots of online meetings, but whatever.
There is no people. There is no people in Finland. So when you are seeing another person, you're just, hey, hello.
Fellow polar bear.
We don't have any people. We have reindeers, polar bears, a lot of ice. There's a pile of ice in my backyard.
Yeah, and a couple.
There's actually this much. There is actually this much because I live by the sea and the sea is frozen. So I'm not completely talking any bullshit at the moment. But anyway.
Okay, let's go back to this profiling survey. So, okay, when our sales rep contacts this marketing qualified lead and thinks that, okay, it's worth it to set up a meeting. So he will set up a meeting and then send an email with the link to a short survey. And actually, when he's talking to the customer on phone or prospect on phone, our sales rep will tell that, okay, I will send you a short survey. Please answer so we both can prepare better for the upcoming meeting. Okay, and so
motivational factor,
yeah. So he will send a short email that, okay, it's nice to have a meeting with you. We're gonna meet in 2 weeks and so on, and then take this short survey. Okay, so this survey, we have about 10 questions. First of all, we ask about their current state. What do they do now? How do they use surveys or interactive content right now, or do they use it at all? And then we ask about personality and behavior and ways of making decisions and stuff like that. So we want to kind of know what kind of person this is. How should we communicate with her and so on. And then we know that like always when we close a deal, there are more than one people making this decision. So we tell them, we have this info question that these kind of cases, there are many decision makers usually. And the next question is that who are you going to take with you? Who are going to participate the upcoming meeting other than you? And then they click, okay, our CEO is joining, our head of marketing is joining, head of sales is joining. And then in that way, we kind of automate this extension of participant pool kind of. Okay, and the last question is about the agenda. Where do you want to focus on the upcoming meeting? So what do you want to talk about? What are your challenges or so on? So customer actually creates an agenda for the upcoming meeting. So, okay, when they fill up this survey, they will get as a result based on your answers, you will get as a result a CTA to a landing page, or actually it's like thank you page, which has targeted material for this type of profile. So they can prepare better for the upcoming meeting by reading this material or watching these videos that we suggest or watching these webinars or whatever. So we have done this profiling work, which happens kind of behind of that. So in a way, we kind of figure out that, okay, when they have these sort of needs, so maybe they want to get this material and so on. So we have multiple thank you pages, and we direct them based on their answers to a certain thank you page. And then
Thomas,
yep.
No, go ahead.
And then we also send an email, which has a link to this thank you page, so that they have this link, so they can go back and forth and, go back to the material.
I have to ask in between here because obviously we've all done a lot of sales, and we know that if you go into a meeting, the better idea you have of the agenda, of what's going to be talked about, and what mindset everybody's in, the more effective and efficient it is. Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is really interesting. Have you seen? You've done this yourself, right?
Yeah, we have.
What kind of results have you seen?
Okay, results are that we have doubled our sales hit rate.
Okay.
You mean from the sales meeting to a deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
Very good.
And our sales cycle has shortened a lot because of when we get the needs and the current state in advance, before the meeting. So our sales representative can actually create or design a kind of proposed solution before the meeting, and they don't have to spend the first meeting only mapping their needs, because they know them beforehand. So they can go to this meeting and kind of do this chatting stuff and get to know and so on, and then they can go through that. Okay, you guys told us that you want to focus on this and this, you are doing this and this right now, and so on, and then we have actually created a solution for you based on your needs even before the meeting. Should we go through that? So they actually start to go through this solution with the customer or prospect during this meeting, and they can start to figure out how they actually help our future customer, and how can we really tackle their needs or challenges.
Tony had a great point there. Jani, I noticed you commented on there.
Your customers are telling you how to sell to them, which is actually a very good point.
That is the point. That is the whole point. They tell about themselves for us to be able to sell them easier and better. That's the thing. Thank you.
That's good for the buyer. That's good for the. Now I'm going to be HubSpot Brian Halligan in Inbound 2015 stage, when he was constantly pointing out one phrase, which is good for the buyer and it's good for the seller. Because nobody wants to spend time on wrong places. You go to the internet, you search your, what you want to do. You go to your Google, you do your social media, you look your YouTube videos, and then you go to the store, or then you meet the sales guy. And if the sales guy doesn't know anything about the prospects, so the prospect have completely wasted all the search time. And and it's not 2016 anymore. Well, where you have to have this kind of a very, very difficult sales processes. Although that the services that you are selling could be very difficult, and the processes behind that could be very difficult, but it's not the customer's problem. The easy factor is really, really cool thing. And when we are going to our website, that's why I was pointing out the smart content thing. Because when we are knowing that somebody's inbound rookie, or somebody is buying a 125 square meters house or something like that, so the whole web experience could change through smart content based on that customer's profile. Would you agree on that?
Absolutely.
That's got to be the future.
Yeah.
It's there's a one but, and a big one. It requires work. I don't know the rest of the world, but here in the Northern Europe, the thing is that everything that is automated, everything is marketing automation, everything that is on internet, everything is social media, Google. The customers tend to think it's automation. Does it come automatically?
Yeah, you press the button.
Yeah, exactly. You press the button and you get 150 WordPress blog posts or whatever. It doesn't. Somebody needs to write, somebody needs to code. And actually the Zeph together with HubSpot, the integration is really easy to do when you know how to do it.
Yep.
And after that, so it requires work. And I think that, I don't know the rest of the world what's the situation, but in the northern parts of Finland it is. And from the inbound experiences that we have been going to Boston, I think that's a global phenomenon. It's that inbound marketing is really cool, customer profiling is really cool, but it requires work. So how many blog posts do you write on a weekly basis, or your company is fun?
You are breaking up a little bit, I think, but I think I heard you. You asked how many blog posts.
How many blog posts? Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we are creating some 3 to 4 blog posts a week. Actually, we used to do it in Finnish, but now we have started to do it in English.
How do you think about the Google? What's the Google reaction to that when you are doing Finnish and English? And
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We're not going to do any anything anymore in Finnish. We're gonna do only in English in the future, and we have done it. But this interactive content is pretty good because it gets lots of visitors because people share their results on social media. So that is actually really good for Google, and they spend time playing with these quizzes and assessments. So that is actually a pretty good thing for Google point of view.
So Thomas, be honest. What's you said you wanted to move to the States and take on America. I know we've got some people listening in on us from the States right now and from other parts of the world. Where is what's your competition? Where's the world interactive profiling industry at the moment? What's going on?
That is a great question. There are some competitors, but most of them are not integrated. They are something you do, apart from what you do on a daily basis. That's like campaigns or stuff like that. We think it has to be integrated. And other platforms that are integrated, for example, with HubSpot, they are like 4 to even 10 times more expensive than we are. I don't know why, but they are way more expensive. So there is competition, which I think is a really good thing, because that's how kind of market develops when there are competition. Tony tells us that HubSpot is expensive as heck. Yeah.
Well, the question is that where are you comparing? Always the question is, well,
and what are the results you get? Because when we transformed our sales and marketing from total outbound cold calling to inbound, it really is worth it for us. We get so many leads online, so it really is worth it for us.
Yeah.
So it depends.
I think that it's a wonderful tool, but the most expensive part, or the most resource, the place that needs more resources is the content production. So basically, you can buy $1,000 $1,000 HubSpot basic, solid good pro package with a couple of thousand contacts in it, but you don't do anything with that without the content that converts. Basically, converting content is the thing. A lot of companies have the thing that we have the site traffic, we have the traffic, but it goes away. It's like poof in the air. It comes, they go, and off they go. So the conversion, I think that it's really cool. And you can actually, with the interactive content, which we have been seeing, is that the content production is pretty labor intensive. So you need to spend your hours. But when you are doing the quiz, so you do it once and it stays there. You get the scalable marketing, and the content producer is the customer. And and they get out of it what they actually need out of it. But we did this one questionnaire the other week, the inbound marketer survey, and it was around about 2 hours or 4 hours that we spent in total on that. And that requires the landing page where the quiz is, and then 3 landing pages after that based on the profiles that you get. And then, of course, for each profile. And of course, we are content marketing house, so we have a lot of content. So that's our advantage. So we just took the content and, put it back on the landing page, the content that we already have, just to recycle the content. So that's kind of a cool thing, because a lot of companies do that they produce the content, it stays on the web, nobody sees it ever. They come to the front page and ever. So this you get recycle the content also. I think that's a very, very cool and very good idea.
Yeah, and actually, I took your quiz, and I found one really good ebook that I hadn't found before on your website. Because you have so much of them, tons of ebooks and so on. So I found it based on my answers. I ended up to these thank you page where you have this content. So I saw wow, this is a good ebook that I didn't download beforehand. So I went there and downloaded it, and it's been really useful for me.
And based on your answers, you get the right one.
Exactly. That was the point. Yeah.
So I think that there's one Finnish company, I'm not going to pronounce the name, but they sell houses. and you know what I'm talking about, Murametalot or whatever.
Oh,
And they have a really cool way of getting information about their website visitors. Could you tell something about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, that is a great case. So they have this sort of house selector, so that when people come to their website, they actually have it as like a sort of a pop-up in their front page. So there's pops up this house selector that people tell their needs. That I'm looking for a house which has how many bedrooms and how many square meter, or in America square feet, and how many floors. Do I like more like traditional type of houses or modern houses? Do I have a lot or not, or am I looking for a lot? And when am I going to build a house? Am I going to build it during this year or the next year, or I don't even have the schedule for building a house yet? So based on your answers, you will get the most suitable house from their selection. They have like big selection of houses, so you don't have to kind of go through all of these different kind of houses, but you tell your needs, and it shows you the best fits. And
by the way, let me just butt in very, very quickly.
Yep.
Those kinds of, if somebody were to call me and try to qualify me, I go to a website with that sells houses, and then they start asking me questions like, so when are you going to build, and what's your budget, and how happy are you? So what's essentially happening is with this kind of a interactive questionnaire, you can ask much more kind of in-depth questions, actually.
Yeah,
right?
Because you are answering because of you, not because of the house manufacturer. Because you are looking for a house, and you want to find the house as easy as possible. It's a good experience for you. You just tell your needs, just like you would go to a store and see a salesman, and he would ask you exactly the same questions. What are you looking for?
Exactly.
What are your needs? Blah, blah, blah. But then you tell, and okay, this house would be the best for you. Let's take a look at it and see. That's the way.
I think that's a very, very good point. I think that the whole marketing industry and the marketing automation industry, at least, is talking about sales and marketing alignment, and those questions that the sales guys ask from the customers could be really, really cool stuff to put on the surveys. I think that's one key point. That's something that we always tell to our customers, because they are thinking that a lot of customers are thinking, where do we get the ideas of the content? Where do we get, remarkable, great ideas? And we always tell them that, listen to your customers, because all the questions that your customers are asking from you, they are the ones that you should be answering on the internet, so that the customers are well educated. They know what they get. All the prices. We're a big fan of that. Like, put your prices up. I know that there's a lot of, pros and cons about, for example, agency pricing, but the customer can't buy. And if we all the time need to write, offers for them, that's completely waste of time. Just have a web page. This is what you get. This is how it's done. These are the people and the companies have already used it. If you want it, you will get it like from here. And this is the cost. And that's like completely transparent. So yeah, I think that's one issue also. Do you, by the way, have the prices on your
We do.
website?
Yeah, we do. We put it online.
So on an average, three packages, silver, gold, platinum kind of thing, or
kind of.
Or
most popular is in the middle.
So if somebody wants to buy Zeph and start to do interactive content, interactive profiling, how much money it will require on a monthly basis?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. It's cheap as
cheap as F.
How much?
Like
how much on average?
$400 a month.
$400 a month.
$400 a month.
That's a yearly.
Man, that's expensive.
Yep. Is that a yearly deal, or
it's a yearly? Yeah.
It's a yearly deal.
Yeah, because you really need to commit. You don't want to do just one blog post.
Yeah.
But you have to do, commit to it, and that's how it works. So you don't want to do just a one quiz, or you can do just a one quiz, but please do more. You'll benefit from that.
Quite expensive. That's a quite expensive quiz then.
Oh yeah,
on a yearly basis. But anyway, it's not. HubSpot is much more. Much more expensive. So it's. I think that Zeph is quite a good value for money tool.
If you can get to a level like that, like Thomas was saying, where you're actually beginning very much to move into a personal relationship mode. And you had a great example about qualifying that meeting, actually going into we're not only talking about marketing, we're talking about sales. So this is you get double win.
Absolutely. And you know what? Like, I think when we talk about inbound marketing, it's about providing value. It's about adding value to our customers, way before they buy from us. So if we really get to know what are their needs, what are their challenges, what are they, thinking about, what is keeping them up at night,
You're saving everybody's time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can really target, and this might help you the best. This might help you, and so on. But this thing that we just talked about, this house selector, the favorite part for me is that there's a form. After answering these, telling your needs, there's a form that you can fill in. If you leave your contact information, you will get their kind of house gallery and tips on building a house to your email. So when there's a user who is looking for a house and gives contact information, they will get really good qualified leads because they know all of their needs, all of their future plans when they are building a house. Do they have a lot, and what are they looking for, and so on. So they kind of, they select which of these deals are which are taken care of right now by sales team and which are still staying with marketing, and they can send them tips and whatever checklists when you are building a house. Take into consideration this and this and this and so on.
All those different phases on a customer's journey, and how do you want to profile? And together, when you're combining with the predictive lead scoring and with the lead scoring, so that you can get the highest scoring leads into sales process. This is high quality leads to the sales. You do that and go and sell, and that's like 10% of the whole customer base tends to be what we have seen a lot of customers HubSpot that the 10% is that like a high quality predictive lead scoring leads, and then you get around about 50% of the database on average. The HubSpot is that, and the databases that we have seen is that don't put them on sales. They are not sales ready leads. And then you get this 40, 35, 40% of the whole database. It's these kind of leads that engage them with marketing category. So you can send them more high quality material. The more targeted the material is in email, the more conversions you will get, the more open rates. I think that the email marketing, by the way, is very, very good marketing tool still. There's a lot of talks about death of emails, and I haven't seen that. What we have seen is that when we get the conversions with the materials that the customer wants to have, the permission marketing idea is so that they want to have it. They want to produce the content. So, and email marketing with those leads that are, engage them with marketing status. I think that's something that a lot of marketers needs to point out. And the question is that what do we send them?
Absolutely.
That has the value.
Yeah, I think it's about targeting. You cannot send everybody the same material.
No, exactly. Your customers, exactly. Your customers are not the same. So why your website is the same for everybody?
That is a great question.
All right, Thomas. I think that we're going to be at the top of the hour, around about 4 minutes. 4 minutes to go. Any last thoughts? Where can we buy this? Great.
We're gonna host a webinar next
We're
week.
gonna host a webinar. Oh yeah.
right.
Webinar. It's going to be
Next Tuesday, is it?
next Tuesday, which is on the 15th of March, which is 5 p.m. on Eastern Standard, EET. Yeah.
That's local time. So
That's local time, Eastern European time, which means that it's going to be 10 o'clock in the US East Coast.
10 a.m.
Yeah,
10 a.m.
Coast. Yeah.
10 a.m. in the East Coast and early morning in the West Coast.
So you guys are rocking, Thomas. Cool. It's great to see that. It's
awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love it. It's good when you can really add value, and I think this whole thing is something that I really like, and this pre-meeting profiling survey thing. This has been a really good concept, and we are enjoying the benefits right now. So I really hope all the others will get the same benefits than we are.
My takeaway from this half an hour or hour is that this kind of profiling works both in marketing and in sales. So that's very good news.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's a great fit for sales and marketing alignment, which I think we're gonna be seeing very much in the future. We got the web page, then we got the marketing thing, and then we get sales. All the software development will put that in the same process, I think, in global.
There's a great word for that Dan Tyre from HubSpot is using, this smarketing team.
Smarketing,
sales and marketing, smarketing team. Dan is awesome.
I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Smarketing is
thumbs up for smarketing. I think that it's a great term. Anyway, thanks, Thomas, and to everybody that please profile your customers before the sales guys go there, because you are giving the sales guys a lot of information, and you are serving your customers the way that your customers.
I will find a link to our webinar landing page so everybody can register.
Yes. Are you putting it, or should I do it?
Yeah, I am. Just in a second, if you can find it right now.
Oh, it's here.
Okay.
I'll just put it on the page.
Yep.
It's there.
There you go. So please register for the webinar. So we're gonna talk about the same thing, and with like really good visual slides.
Yeah, we're gonna have
dig in deeper.
a lot of pictures, not the talking head so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was great, this Blab. I enjoyed it. The first time Blab. Super fantastic.
Is it the last?
No.
Not
definitely.
the last. Yeah. This is a great platform. I love blabbing.
I'm going to pause the recording now. So